Today we're going to take a look at the country and regional definitives of Great Britain, but we're focusing specifically on the Wilding series that were issued back in 1958. Now before we carry on, I have done a previous video in which we discussed the Wilding definitives of England, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link to it in the top right hand corner now, so do check that out after this video. Okay, in 1958, special country and regional issues were introduced, namely to Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, the three home nations, and then to Jersey, Guernsey and the Isle of Man, the Crown dependencies. The designs used on these new special issues use the same portrait as the Wildings, but with a difference. They incorporated the heraldic emblem or symbols for each country or island. This idea of having regional stamps came up after World War II for the George VI stamps to help promote tourism to the Channel Islands, but it never gained traction until these definitives were produced under Elizabeth II's reign. The first value to be issued for all regions was the 3D lilac stamp, and as you can see, the Queen's portrait remains consistent throughout each issue, but the regional symbols are different. So let's take a closer look at each stamp and discuss these changes, starting with Scotland. The Queen's portrait is flanked by the words postage revenue. To the bottom left we have the Crown of Scotland within the Royal Badge of Scotland, the St Andrew's Cross. To the right of that we have a thistle, the national plant of Scotland, which as we can see has been royally crowned. And this design is consistent through the lower denominations, as we can see here. The 6p and 9p stamp offer up a different design and show the portrait of the Queen in a simple frame flanked by a strongly conventionalised Thistles of Scotland design on a dark background. And the design changes yet again for the final two denominations, the 1 and 3 and 1 and 6 stamps. These stamps show two crowned and collared unicorns flanking the Queen's head. Unicorns are apparently the unique heraldic animal of Scotland, and the one on the left supports a flag showing a lion rampant, Her Majesty's Scottish ensign, and the flag on the right shows the St Andrew's Cross. And this is the whole set together, a total of 9 stamps. The 4p value was issued in 3 colours, as you can see just there. Okay, let's move on to the Northern Ireland stamps now. Initially there were problems creating these Northern Ireland definitives, as there were a lack of symbols that might be used to represent Northern Ireland without stirring up political symbolism. The lower denominations all share the same design, the Queen's portrait at the centre, postage revenue written directly beneath her, the denomination in the bottom right, and the 6-pointed crowned star with the red hand of Ulster in the centre, and the flax plant, the national plant of Northern Ireland, which references Ulster's linen industry, stretches from the bottom of the stamp up to the right side of Elizabeth's portrait. Just like the Scottish stamps, once we get to the higher denominations, we have a change in design yet again. The 6p and 9p stamp show the Queen's portrait against a background of woven linen in a diamond pattern. The denomination is placed below the portrait and is flanked either side by the red right hand of Ulster. The 1 and 3 and 1 and 6 has the Queen's portrait front and centre, flax and the red right hand of Ulster in the left and right top corners respectively, and below the portrait is a stylised 5-barred gate, supported by typical Ulster pillars, and the denominations are either side of that. And there we go, a total of 9 Northern Ireland stamps. Again, the 4p is in 3 different colours. The Welsh definitives are under the microscope now. As we can see, the lower denominations have the Queen's portrait in a frame, flanked either side by the leaves of the leek, one of the Welsh national emblems. Between the leaves we can see the written words postage revenue, and then at the bottom of each we can see the Welsh dragon design with the denominations either side of that. And again, the 4p values are in 3 different colours. More design changes now with the 6p and 9p values. Simply put, the portrait sits above the Welsh dragon with the words postage revenue enclosed in 2 side panels down the length of the stamp, with the denomination just there. And finally, the 1 and 3 and 1 and 6 values again show the Welsh dragon underneath the portrait, postage revenue along the sides, and the denomination bottom left, and then the leek in the bottom right. Well, it should come as no surprise that 9 stamps again make up the Welsh definitive set. Let's move on to the regional definitives now from Jersey, Guernsey and the Isle of Man. Let's start with Jersey. As you can see, we have a total of 6 definitives. The 2.5p stamp looks slightly different in design to the other 5. It was designed by a guy called Edmund Blampede and shows the portrait of Queen Elizabeth slightly off centre. We've got the mace on the side here, which was presented to the islands by Charles II in 1663, and we can see the coat of arms of Jersey at the bottom. And there's also the royal cipher just there. These remaining 5 stamps were designed by William Gardner and again show the mace and coat of arms as the main subjects. And along the edges, here and here, we can also see a potato plant on the left and a tomato plant on the right, which emphasises the importance of agriculture to the island. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a Jersey royal potato? Up next are the Guernsey stamps. Again, another 6 definitives are on offer. Designed by Eric Pipprell, they show the crown of William the Conqueror just there. And below it, the Guernsey lily, which is the national flower of the island. There's a slight design variation on the 2.5p stamp, with the crown and lily placed in either corner to accommodate extra scroll work down the sides just there. And this design is my favourite of all the country and regional definitives. Finally, we come to the Isle of Man definitives. Again, 6 are on offer, all designed by John Nicholson, and show Queen Elizabeth positioned centrally. Again, there's a slight variation on the 2.5p design. We've got the word postage at the top, and the portrait of the Queen herself seems to be slightly larger than on the other 5 stamps. Also, the Triskelion is in the bottom left-hand corner. Looking at the others, we can see the Triskelion design on a shield with 3 spurs on each that kind of look like stars, and the bordering around the edge has a ring chain pattern to it, which is based on designs on ancient Manx stone crosses. And as you can see, they are all positioned in the top left-hand corner of the stamps. Okay, so we got through a lot of definitive variations there. That's not the complete guide that I've just shown you, it's just the basic set of stamps for each country and region. There are lots of other varieties on offer, which include weldings with phosphor and graphite lines, and different watermarks. What I've done is just show you the basic design variations. It's a big topic and one you can spend a lot of time researching and collecting. Anyway, let's wrap this one up here. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Hit the like button and please do turn on that notification bell. Alright, thanks for joining me if you have, and until the next one, bye for now.